Truth be told, when I wonder what the future holds, it takes me out of the present. New moon waxing, full moon waning, crescent. Life cycles, teammates or rivals. Soul search, dangerous World War III, the goal's always survival. That's nature, day you're born when you meet your maker. Tears start chasing paper, burning trees or melting glaciers. But truth be told, when I wonder what the future holds, it's impossible to process, so I stay focused on my progress.
Yes, people. Welcome back to the Triple Captains podcast. It's your boy Hops, back in the middle again. Like I said last week, I want my spot back. And
hey, don't get excited, my friend. Don't get excited.
Well, I'm here, but I was just about to say before you interrupt.
By default. Go on.
Before you interrupt, well, Man U's getting worked right now, but there was still a chance that Guffs could have got 2 in a row. Can you believe it? But he didn't. But he could have. Yeah, literally, he's got Bruno. I've got no players left. Ark. I don't know if he's got players left, but it's
Shaky Warrior.
What's he?
Shaky Warrior.
Don't know what that means, but
don't know what kind of small island talk that is, but
yeah, I don't know what it means either. But it's been one of those weeks where everyone had 5 free transfers. There's a lot of talk, and we all made decisions, and I'm in the middle. Bruno, don't do more, because Guffs is going to be talking a lot in the next episode. So just stay where you are right now, and just leave it where it needs to be. But yeah, how's man doing? Starting a few Guffs since you wanted to really interrupt and.
Oh, well, I'm not bottom, my friend. You need to go to the other guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, see me.
That's what we are, yeah.
Light it up.
Yeah.
Bar humbug. Oh, go on.
Yeah. Last week I had an excuse, and it was Christmas jumper day, but today I'm just vexed. So, that's why we're still at bar humbug. Yeah, it's an interesting week, but we'll get into it when we go through teams. Other than that, living the dream, as they say.
Okay. Mr. I'm not bottom. What go to you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. You got half an hour in the middle, bro. That's what I've got to say to you. But yeah, we'll talk later on.
Alright. Well, interesting week. A lot of things happened. Some unexpected. Let's get into the big game from last week. The derby, Sunderland, Newcastle.
Yeah, I guess I'll go first in this one. Not a great deal to say about the game. I saw the highlights. I didn't watch the game live, unfortunately, but from what I saw, it was a typical sort of, committed game from both teams. Low in quality. I saw the XG from both teams. I think both teams had below 1 XG. So, yeah, Sunderland came out on top from an own goal. But yeah, I mean, not really a great deal to really say about this game, really, to put quite honest with you. The crowd were up for it. It looked loud. It looked, visually great, but the actual quality of the game looked pretty poor. And Newcastle are a team I know who are up and down, so yeah. Sunderland continue on their upstream, so good luck to them.
Okay. Mark?
You know what? It was one of those games that just reaffirmed a few of the data points that we'd been talking about over the past couple of weeks. Because Sunderland, they went into the game playing exactly how they have against most of the big teams. So they went in with their mid-block, lots of passion, and their structure ultimately won the day for them. The structure beat the momentum that Newcastle had. And it kind of put Newcastle on the back foot for the majority of the game. So it was an interesting one because it also reaffirmed the thoughts that we discussed last week about Sunderland possibly being the team that gets most affected by AFCON. Because in reality, their players that were really showing the passion and getting into it for them were 3 of the ones that we were talking about. Like, so you had Siddiqui there, you had Ronaldo. Like, and it's one of those things where you're like, so who are the backups for those players, like going forwards? And I keep thinking, especially after seeing the way they were celebrating afterwards, like, don't get me wrong, I love the shithousery, like, because they did that to get Newcastle back for what they did. But at the same time, I'm like, how many times are they going to be able to express all of their energy in the way that they did, like, and continue playing at this decent level? And I think probably we're now getting to the point where they're going to start gassing out. But that could just be veiled hope. So let's see.
No, look, I think that, as you said, Newcastle did it to them when they beat them. So, and their record ain't been good against them, so they did it and got gassed. So it was only right for them to do it back. They're doing it in the Prem. Their returns have been solid, as we've just pointed out. A lot of their players will be going to AFCON, so we don't know what's going to happen from there. But when I look at their team, they've got our old boy, Xhaka, Henderson. So they've still got some sort of, don't want to say, I'll use the term generals, Premier League experienced players in that centre of the midfield. So I think they'll be okay still, but they will be impacted. So we just got to see by how much. But yeah, from that game, obviously there was more of a talking point for me. As you said, Guffs, it wasn't the best of games, but it was a great header by the guy I call the German Peter Crouch. And it's no disrespect, Peter Crouch, because I rated you. I thought you was a decent player for your size, but that's my nickname for him. And also made, or whatever his name is, because I'm so used to calling him the German Peter Crouch. You have made it, my fella. You've made it to the Doughnut of the week, because I don't know why or how you get a header like that. It was a great header, I can't lie, but just the wrong goal. I don't know how or why he headed it the way he did, because it looks like he was purposely trying to put it in the net. When I watched it back bare times to understand that. Why? The accuracy, the venom, that, I don't know. I need you guys to help me understand why that can happen. It's not like it was just so dumb to me. It's like he was doing Paqueta. Like it was match fixing or something. Like, why would you header it that way? I don't get it. I'm bashed by it. And it's that simple why I made you Doughnut of the week. Like, guys, have you got any views on it? I don't know what to say.
I think it's one of the situations where, like, first and foremost, it's a lack of communication, right? Because if you watch the clip over, like, there's no danger. There's no one behind him gonna header the ball. You know, what all it is a shout like leave it or something, and it's good. I mean, you know, obviously
but it's a bit too far out for that, though, wasn't it? Like, I think one of the issues was the defender behind him should have called for it, because the defender behind him was obviously in a better position. But it's a reflex. Like it's the reaction, the reflex, and yeah, you could see his reaction
towards goal. He's heading it towards goal. That's what's getting me baffed. Is that the cross has come in, and he's like flicked it towards goal. To me, that is mental. I don't know. As I said, for me, it was just I couldn't understand why. But the accuracy was second to none. The power. If he had scored at that other end, we'd be raving saying that's a great header. But yeah, my friend, nice and simple, short and sweet one. You are the Doughnut of the week. But anyway, we've talked about the main game. We talked about the Doughnut in that game. Let's talk about our actual teams and see where that takes us. Starting with you, Ark.
Yeah, so I had an interesting one for the week. I didn't want to take any minuses, which ended up in leaving me a bit exposed, which I really got told off for on Sunday, in effect, because it meant I had 3 of the Newcastle players in there. John McEnroe was off before 60 minutes. Volta made squad own goal. Ramsdale made a good fist of it, but you know, from there the writing was on the wall. So hence, in our own private group chats, I said I definitely won't be the one in the middle for the week, based on what happened. The other elements of my team, relatively, they did well. But yeah, back to the drawing board. And as we know, I said last week that Voltamade would be the one that goes as soon as I get another transfer, and he cemented it with the own goal. The only thing that goes in his favour was that he ended up on a 0 as opposed to a minus. But outside of that, like, nah, long day for him. He won't be in my team again.
Right. Guffs?
Yeah, look, I mean, I made 6 changes, took a minus 4 this game week. I mean, like I said last week, it was time to be aggressive. And essentially had a mini wild card, right? That's what I did essentially in my team. Sort of change things up, and mostly because I had a few sort of like deadweight players like Dubravka, Esteve, who were just kind of in my team doing nothing, and with all these sort of injuries and stuff, they were coming in and replacing and giving me nothing. So it gave me an opportunity to sort of like even out my team and make it a bit more kind of balanced. And yeah, I can't complain. I said it's been a decent week. I got in the 70s, I think for the first time this season actually. So um, it worked out really. Could have been better, but I'll take it. And if Bruno comes through for me, then I think it'd be a very good week game for me.
Well,
'Cause yeah.
no, sorry to interrupt.
No, I was just saying if Bruno gets another contribution, then I'm possibly gonna be in the 80s, which I don't think there's many people that are in the 80s. So yeah,
Don't get ahead of yourself.
And he has done a contribution. He's got an assist. Obviously, the game's still live, but he's returned, and you can't complain. It's a good week. Like look at my team. I've done the same. I used all 5 changes straight away. Took a -4, so it's 6, same as you, and we've both been repaid with that aggression by getting into the 70s. I got 79. The -4 put me on 75, and yeah, I think my gem of this week was Harry Wilson. I think that was my best move, or my favourite out of the moves I did. But there were still some things that I did early, chasing the money before it went up, and I reacted. I think I've knee-jerked for the first time, well, this season, to say the least. And I put cash in, because I wanted to take one of the defenders out before he went down, and I wanted to put cash in before he went up. And usually I'll be happy, because he went from 4.7 to 4.9. So obviously I made my 0.1. However, he got me 0, and that makes me upset. And then I look at his fixtures, and it makes me more upset, because I feel like I shouldn't have done it now. So I don't know if I'm going to be my normal harsh self and get rid of him. I'm debating it. I see Art's get that vibe going on with the donut of the week. But yeah, I'm not
He's
sure.
gone already.
Good. Volta buy, not Volta made. But like, yeah, I don't know if it's worth me taking a -4 this week when not many did, or to my knowledge, not many did, and then taking more minuses this week, because that's not the area I want to concentrate on. So yeah, but overall, happy with the game week. I've just about got into the hosting position, unless Bruno does something else which would have changed that, but I'm here for now, and move on to the next week. So another week where it's going to be a bit tricky in my opinion, but yeah, that's it when it comes to my team. So for our future plans, what you got up your sleeve up for this week?
As I had been planning from last week, Voltamade's out, so I have a different striker in. Whether I'll take a minus or not, that's debatable at the moment. So that my strategy will be to build towards the last chip that I've got, which is bench boost. So I'm just trying to make sure that I fortify out what that looks like. So my real big thing is that I want to change my keeper, as I don't think that Ramsdale is going to be the one that I need. But likewise, Dubravka doesn't need to be the guy that I've got on my bench, because he's not really going to bring me in any points. So I'll also start looking at the fixtures between now and week 19, effectively, to try and understand, okay, what could I do with the bench that will maximise as much as possible for me, because in reality all of the other chips that I've used haven't really done what they need to do for me. But that's my focus as it stands at the moment. I've also got a couple of concerns around a few people that I've got in my defence, not from the fact that they won't play, but more about the original strategy for them was to create some kind of upside in the team, and it hasn't worked out like that. Arsenal have started conceding left, right, and centre, and there are other people that I've got, like for instance Cash, where in reality he's very exposed from a clean sheet point of view. Villa in general have got a high expected goals conceded, like every game. So it's just one of those things, and I think that it will eventually come back to bite them. So yeah, I've got two concerns: the goalkeeper, and I've got Malin, and I need to get him out also. So those will be the directions that I head towards over the next 2 weeks.
Guffs?
Yeah, for me it's pretty simple. I made a big changes obviously this game week, so I'm not doing another minus this game week. I don't really have to. I don't think my team's pretty well set up. The only change I'm looking at really is maybe bringing in O'Reilly from Man City. It was a change that I was going to do originally for this game week, and I kind of regret not doing it because he got the clean sheet. But I think it makes sense to kind of maybe just load up on the City at this point. They're kind of rolling right now. They're at home to West Ham, who are piss poor. So and he's going to play. I've already got two Man City players in Foden and Haaland, so I'm thinking of maybe sort of bringing him in and then having the extra City player on my team. So that's the one. What, because of the cup game? Yeah, potentially, but he's young, and they haven't got a huge amount of options on that left-hand side. I think Ake plays it sometimes, but I think that the Premier League is their main focus, and I think I'll be surprised if he's not in the starting lineup for the weekend against West Ham. So that's probably the change I'm going to go for and bring him in. But outside of that, I'm pretty much sticking with what I got.
Okay. Well, I've also looked at him, but the problem was this week I was, as usual, trying to see who's going to go up that I'm interested in before they go up, and he's gone up.
All right, Dill boy.
But he's gone up already. Bruno, who you've got in your team, who also had my own, went up. A lot of the players I wanted have gone up. So it's like making me think, you know what? I've just taken a -4.
Stop the stream.
Changes.
Stop the bomber clock stream. Put me in the middle of the bomber clock thing.
When did this guy turn you out? Bruno scored a goal, yeah?
Yeah, he's got.
Okay.
Go on now.
That's all good. Yeah, so as you heard live, in the middle of me talking, I can't remember where I was. Bruno's scored a goal. And this VAR rules it out. But that would have meant Guffs would have been in the middle and would have been done as hosting. Even though I'm in the middle and it's going to continue this way, I'm more than happy for him to have the point. I'm more than happy. I'm more than happy to give him the point for this game week because it's his game week if he's got more points.
What do you mean you're more than happy? You're going to blow clock choice, but you're more than happy.
Well, I don't really care. It just gives you a couple of points on the board. I'm happy for you. That's mine. It's like you're not
happy for me. It's not like.
Bro, let's be real here, yeah. And all jokes aside, this doesn't impact me that much. You're gonna finish above me by 3 points and still be wherever you are in the league compared to where my position is. And I both had a good week, so I'm happy with my week. So I'm happy. I prefer that I beat you just for bragging rights, but let's have it right. You're still bottom, I think. So I don't think I'm your concern if we're talking about our personal rivalries at the Triple Captains. Worry about your next step up, which is second, before Bumba Clark on camera. You get me? But I am happy for you because it's been a tough ride for you. This game is we're far in the season now, and to be fair, you've got 2 in a row. But anyway, I can't remember what I was saying because I was rudely interrupted, but I understand the joy it must have brought you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, after being thrown off, actually,
Your transfers. You're
Right.
going to bring Bruno in your team, yeah?
Thank you. Yeah, so before I was really interrupted, I was saying my future plans. And because I didn't put the players in that I was thinking of putting in, potentially I might just hold out, do no changes this week, and then go in and have 2 for the following game week if I can do it. But those that know me know that it's hard for me to just chill. I always want to do something, and there's a few players that I could still put in. And now Bruno scored goal and assist. That to me means he's in quite a good form. The only problem is they've got a difficult game next week, and I'm not sure if I want to put him in after he's just gone up. But there is some good games coming for him, and maybe I just put him in now. And if he doesn't get the points next week, so be it. But I've got him early because he's starting to come alive. And I pointed out a few things last week about the midfielders and strikers. If they start scoring, it's going to start changing people's tunes and that. So it's looking like it. But it's only one game week and things keep on changing. But talking about Bruno and our future plans, I guess it makes sense to talk about the big game for next week. So let's get into it.
Yeah, I mean, there are actually a few big games this week. There's a few we could talk about here, to be honest with you. But I know obviously we're gonna obviously focus on Newcastle Chelsea, which is a big game. Chelsea obviously come into this game having won 2-0 and looking to obviously chase the league title. They've got some ground to make up. Newcastle are very good at home, and it proves to be a fiery game. I think Newcastle had to bounce back from having lost against Sunderland, so I think it'd be a really open game, and I think there'll be goals in this one. But equally, we could have spoken about a number of games. Obviously, Man United, as you alluded to, are playing against Villa, which is another big game. Essentially, that's 3rd against 5th, which is a big game. So yeah, this is going to be a really interesting game week for FPL because a lot of our big hitters are going up against one another. So this is one of those game weeks which I think could be a fairly low scoring game week because there's going to be a lot of that cancelling out of assets. But yeah, I mean, my prediction for this game, I'm going to go for I'm going to go for a home win for Newcastle. I think they're going to eke it out. I think 2-1 Newcastle. I'll go for.
Okay.
I think there will be a Newcastle win. I think that's more because I can never really truly tell what Maresca is going to do in terms of the team that he's actually going to put out. And if I'm correct, Casado is still out from being suspended, right? So I don't think that he plays this game at the weekend, or is he?
He does because Chelsea play midweek.
Oh, because they've got a midweek game.
Yes, he's back.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting because Newcastle in general, they're like high shot volume from wide areas, which Chelsea struggle with. And it's more about who manages to get control in the midfield. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. I think Newcastle, as we're seeing as well, they've got a tendency to concede, so definitely there'll be goals in it. But yeah, with Chelsea interesting more because I suppose the game will turn on what happens when Palmer is back. Because obviously he played, he scored, but he took him off quite early. He's already said that he's not going to play midweek. So it could be that he's on and he's playing in his pomp. I think for Newcastle, it's a big miss that Joe Linton hasn't been playing. So that may come back to bite them. So in fact, it may actually change what I'm thinking. It might just end up being a 1-1 draw. I don't think they'll lose, but like there's not a lot in it between both teams because styles make fights, and they kind of counter each other. Like, so it's going to favour the transition attackers. So Neto's probably going to be one to watch in this game. Dare I say, John McEnroe will, bearing in mind that he's on pens as well. So you never know what can happen. But yeah, and second ball forward. So who knows? Pedro might even come back into the mix. But yeah, from me, my final thoughts are 1-1 draw.
I think it's a difficult one. I think Newcastle need to bounce back. They're at home. They just got tucked in by their arch nemesis. They are not doing well at the moment. They've just lost Burn. So if you've got him in your team, he's got to get out of there. Punctured lung, broken rib. 6 weeks at least. So yeah, but they've got to be defenders that can play. Chelsea, I don't know. I really believe Chelsea are doing well at the moment defensively, but like I said, Newcastle will be hungry. Gordon, Worcester came off the bench the other day. Walter made. It's like I see goals in both. I see 1-0 or 2-1. I can't quite say to who. So I don't want to go for draw. Guffs said 2-1 Newcastle. Up said draw. So I'm going to say 2-1 Chelsea away victory. But I really believe it's 1-0-ish. Anyone can. It's whoever nicks it. But,
it's difficult because I looked at it. And so, for instance, the reason why I mentioned John McEnroe with it, because his goal involvement and his chance creation, etc., is quite big from wide side. Chelsea concede a lot on the right side, which is what he'll be playing against. I guess it just depends on what happens. So if Casado is back and they decide, all right, we'll put James in defence, then James is a stronger opponent than Gusto is. So it'll be interesting. It will probably all be based on what the lineup is. But yeah, it's one of those matches where anything can happen. It's just that Newcastle are not in great form. But we know what they're like when they're at home. Remember, my thing about Newcastle was always that if they're more than 75 miles away from home, I never back them. But, I mean, Sunderland must be less than 10 miles down the road and they still managed to mess that up. It's very upsetting.
Well, I want to add something to what you just said. I'm going to go back to what I was going to say. But I almost called him John McEnroe. Gordon, he's due. And I like him as a player. I think he's all right. And I think that he's one of those players that when he hasn't scored in a while, he'll score. There's a few players that I believe are like that. When you just throw them in, like Semenyo tonight has scored, and I was like, when they haven't scored in a while, they're due a goal. And as you pointed out with your stats, that if Gusto's on the right, he might have a good opportunity to get that goal. Because you pointed out something this week about Ekitike and it came true within 1 minute. So, I might not be the stat man, even though I do have do my researching, but just some of the things you do say actually does happen. So, people that need to listen at times, because when I saw that, the first thing I thought of is, this guy. You know what I mean? He just said about Ekitike in his last
But you know
minute.
what happens is, when I give the good advice, it's when I haven't taken it myself. So, yeah. As many of you will see in my profiles, I always say that I'm a strategist and I'm also a masochist.
Really and truly, you should have been a donut of the week, really, because
why is that? You talking real greasy because
not only did you talk about Ekitike, but you also said that Volta has to go, man. He has to go. And he's got an own goal. It was like,
yeah, that doesn't make me a donut, does it? I couldn't transfer I'm not like you that wants to take minuses all the time, because I'm in a dogfight.
He almost did more to me though, but anyway.
Anyway, you know what I will say, before we move on, you, an Arsenal fan, celebrating United the way you did, all this stuff just a minute ago, come right out of character. That wasn't the Guffs of the Grand Nino. Do you know what I mean? Where was that celebration from? That meant Arsenal. See what FPL can do to a man.
Trust me.
But yeah, let's talk about our captain choices for the next game week then. We're starting a few up. What's the stats telling? Who's the stats telling you to captain this week? Because this week seems like everyone's gonna have the same
keeping
captain.
that to myself this term. Not putting anything out there.
Man that want enemy's face again, yeah? Go on now.
Well,
Look, it's very difficult not to go for one of the City boys this week. Like, they are playing West Ham. So I think we kind of even have to kind of look at a side of that. If you put Haaland and Foden aside, like, I can't really see anybody going for anyone outside of them, but there are some choices if you're really chasing upside. You got Bournemouth against Burnley, so Semenyo could be an opportunity. He's just scored, so who knows, maybe he's back into getting into a vein of form. Likewise, if you really wanted to go for a wide berth one, you could go for Mateta against Leeds. But for me, like I said, I'll be set and forget Haaland for now.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I think Haaland is the obvious choice, and I expect incredibly high ownership and captaincy choice for this game week coming up. Be surprised if it's not in the sort of high 70s, and but like, I think Ekitike is another one that's probably worth a shout. He's just got 2 goals. They're playing away to Spurs. Spurs are not in great form. Their home form's been absolutely appalling this season, and Liverpool have done pretty well there in the last few game weeks. Ekitike is going to be the main man. There's no Salah. He's gone to the African Cup of Nations as well, so I think that's something that could bear some fruit. But yeah, to kind of double down on what you said, really, I think Haaland is the standout choice. Oh, well, I would say Haaland off Foden. Foden is also another interesting one. That could be essentially the wild card, so to speak, because he could potentially outpoint Haaland. But West Ham are so poor on set pieces from corners. They haven't got particularly quick or imposing centre backs, and Haaland has done very well there in the last few years. So yeah, it's Haaland for me.
So you know that he's probably going to do what he did when we all triple captained him.
He probably won't.
Haaland blank.
I mean, if this actually is prime triple captain territory, if he still has that chip, I think if people are
It was against Leeds too.
Yeah.
bottom line is this year. I was gonna say that Haaland's my captain this week. I think anyone watching doesn't know or is chasing upside, forget all of that. Just go Haaland, because anyone triple captain him. If he does do something and you try to go for Foden or go for someone else, and he does look off, you're going to regret it. It's one of those game weeks where when you think a triple captain is going to be played, it's the best time to play it safer, in my opinion. So for me, Haaland's caps. That's my advice. If you was looking for upside and trying to be different and you went to go against the grain, the one player that wasn't mentioned, or I don't think was mentioned by you two, who I would consider, even though his form has dipped or his goal scoring has been on pause, is Thiago. They need to bounce back too. Brentford are away to Wolves. Wolves have been, in my words, trash. And that'd be like a little dark horse who could get a couple goals away from home. And if Ekitike has been mentioned and a few others like Semenyo, the obvious ones against the team that are poor defensives. But I'd say Thiago against Wolves away could be a cheeky one. But got any brains, even if you get 0, go Haaland, because everyone that's got that chip left that needs to use it will be using it on Haaland this week. So on to our mini league, where there's not been much changes. It's the regular top 5 at the moment, regular bottom 5. But this week, the highest points was 98 with the Matrix Legends. The highest riser too, so congratulations to you. Obviously, I was really interrupted earlier because this Arsenal or Man United fan got his Bruno goal, which would have made him the host of today. So he will be getting the points rightfully on the scoreboard, which will move him up from 3rd to 3rd. But well done, Guffs. That's 2 in a row for you. You're on a bit of a run. If you do it again next week, now we're not going to hear the end of it 3 in a row. You know, so I'm back.
Yeah. Small steps, isn't it? Small steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all you can do. It's all we can do. Aim to do well every week, and just that. To be honest, all 3 of us just climb this table. Let's get into that crunch time now. So yeah, the league's getting interesting. The Prem's getting interesting. Like I'm gonna. Obviously, everyone knows we're Arsenal fans, and we didn't really talk about Arsenal for the first time, so I'm gonna go and bring them up. But like the Wolves game was a bit crazy, so there's loads of different emotions. But yeah, we got the victory there. So yeah, Man City looking very good, and as we said, playing West Ham, so we're expecting 3 points there. It's going to be interesting to see if anyone does go against Haaland or go for Foden. But yeah, we'll see that when it's this time next week. Unless you guys got anything to add.
Doing it for kicks will be going against Haaland, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'm tempted. I've got to be honest, I'm a little bit tempted. I'm not saying I'm going to do it.
Yeah, you do that.
Yeah.
He's already said
Foden is interesting one to me. That's the one that's do you know what I mean? He's
why you always lying?
I'm not saying I'm going to do it. I'm saying that Foden is an interesting one. He's in prime form right now, and has been pretty much matching Haaland's score. So and as you I mean, you should be saying the same thing, given that you already made a point earlier on a few weeks ago that him being a team sort of stifles the supply to Haaland. So, you know.
Yeah, but it's as I said with when you was making the point about Liverpool winning when Salah got dropped. They played West Ham. Like, there are some teams that you just accept they're that dead that anything can happen. So, I think City are interesting, right? Like, even the last game that City played, when they played Palace, like, they still only got like 1.3 XG, something like that. Palace had more than them. The issue is that they have an equaliser up top, right? So I would imagine that he will do the business against West Ham.
And they're at home.
Annoyingly,
they're a different animal at home, Man City.
Yeah, like I can't see Nuno pulling off anything. If he does, he's really using some serious black magic.
Well, they've improved West Ham, but you know.
Yeah, but they've just lost their fullbacks, isn't it? So, you know.
But remember, I'm not saying that that's not going to have impact on them. But remember, they dropped Wan-Bissaka for a little bit.
Oh, it sounded like you said Captain Bowen.
Nah.
I mean, on the point of Bowen is an interesting one in terms of
He's not.
No, not for this game week. But if you look beyond this game week, West Ham got some very good games. I know West Ham, as you mentioned, are not a great team right now, but they had some very good games after this game week. And he was someone.
So let's talk about it in that game week then, fella. Do you know what I mean? Why are we talking about it now? Let's see what they do this game week. Do you know what I mean? Oh yeah, one day oh mate, let me lie you.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just lie you because I was gonna get you differently. But
they're trying to shut me down on my game week. But all right, cool. Go on now.
It's alright, man. You got your little point. Just be happy and be grateful that we. You know what I mean? That we filmed later, so you got a chance to get your little or whatever you did. Was it Black Clerk or whatever you was talking about? But yeah. Look, we'll be back next week and we'll see who's in the middle then. But the best man win.
Subscribe, people. But yeah, peace out.
Truth be told, when I wonder what the future holds.